everybody, this is Olivia Furby's Repairs. Today we have this lamb Furby that I bought online. So it is working, but the speaker is crackling really badly, which means that it's soon going to burn out completely and will need a replacement speaker. Today I'm going to walk through the repair on how to replace a Furby speaker. I will also be washing her fur. She's very dirty of a Furby. There's a lot of gray areas. If you peel back this, you will see some areas are still whiter than other areas. Here is her compared to my zebra Furby. You can see the mane is a lot shinier, as this one has a lot of gray splotching on it. Here is how a Furby is normally supposed to sound. I'm going to wake this one up to show you. Now I'm going to put in batteries into this lamb Furby so you can hear how distorted the voice sounds. Most mute Furbies do not sound like this. They're usually completely mute. I'll probably attach a short video clip showing how they sound. You only hear the gears when they talk. They usually don't crackle. You can still somewhat hear what the Furby is trying to say, but you can really hear the crackling. So she'll eventually turn into a mute Furby if I don't replace the speaker. You can hear how the voice pitches go down and then they go back up. You can really hear the distortion. So you can hear how she's actually progressed worse. So, yeah, I'm going to be definitely taking her apart. Her speaker is slowly dying, as you can hear. And it's usually rare to get a Furby like this. You usually hear them where they're already mute. So I thought I'd show you what it sounds like when the speaker slowly starts distorting. Okay, so now that she's like completely mute, I can barely hear her voice. This is how they normally sound. They're just, you can't really hear them. So I took out the batteries. I would like to say that no amount of resets, no amount of new batteries will ever fix the voice again, because it clearly just burnt out over time. I don't really know what causes this to happen. Probably just older models. It slowly wears out. I'm going to be showing you how to take her apart and how to fix the speaker. So I will be using this speaker. This is a spare Furby speaker that I had from a duplicate Furby. You can see that it just snaps in. I know that you can buy soldering speakers, like speakers that you have to solder, but it doesn't really come with the tickle sensor. And it's a lot more complicated to repair because you have to cut the wires and solder them onto the pre-existing port. Before considering replacing the speaker, you can try this. 1998 Furbies don't have a magnet behind the speaker like new Furbies, so with rubbing a magnetic object in front of the speaker, it will recover the voice. Also, the wires to the speakers may be damaged or cut off, which would need to be resoldered. If you can't swap speakers with a spare Furby, you can get any 32 OHM speaker. either 0.25 watts or 0.5 watts with a 40 mm diameter. I attached some photos, as you can see. You should check the back of the speaker for the power rating, as the options may differ in the power output, though either should work. One may be just slightly quieter than the other. So why do Furby speakers burn out? The speakers in this generation are prone to break down over time. A lot of them have a little cushioning pad on the back that over 20 years later will just turn to dust with a simple touch. So imagine the state of the cheap plastic membrane that makes up the speaker itself. It just slowly burns out. So I usually recommend just using spare Furby speakers, even though they're harder to find because you have to, take apart two Furbies and swap the speakers. But this one I already have just because it was a duplicate Furby, and that's why I always buy duplicate Furbies, because their parts do come in handy. To take apart a Furby, you do start with the zip tie. It's underneath here. You will have to cut, so I'm going to do that off camera. Okay, so I cut the zip tie. Now I'm going to just simply remove it. So this is what it looks like. You can end up replacing the zip tie when you put the Furby all back together. So what I'm going to do is peel the fur upward, but before I do that, there is little stitches in the ears that hold them to the ears that you have to undo. You can see the stitches right there. So I basically just cut those, and you can re-sew them later. Some people use hot glue just to keep the ears in place. Alright, so this is what she looks like without her ears on, and the rest you just have to pull up. So this is what it looks like once the fur is pulled up. From then on, you just assess this faceplate. I see that these ones, I think, is just a snap-on faceplate. Sometimes they have screws, but I think this one just snaps on. So yeah, it's mostly held on by little snaps and hot glue. So I may have to re-hot glue the whole faceplate back on since I'm going to be washing the fur later. As you can see, the speaker looks a bit different from my replacement speaker. So what you want to do is unscrew this screw right here, this one. You're going to have to unscrew this one as well, because this is holding this side in, as well as the one right up at the top. And this will fall out. So I've undone that one section. As you can see, this is where the speaker is. There's two screws, so we'll have to undo the other section as well. This is the port. You can take your fingers and try to wiggle out the wires. Sometimes using a small flathead screwdriver to try to pry it up helps. But it doesn't really matter to me if I break the wires because the speaker is already clearly burnt out. I can't really save it at all. So this is what it looks like with the speaker port out. You can see that there are hot glue on the wires connecting it to the tilt sensor. You could see the motor wires also in front of it. I'm just going to cut the wires because I don't want to rip this off, because I can see that these wires are held down by solder and hot glue, and I just don't want to accidentally damage another component. Okay, so you can see where I cut the wires at. I also removed the wires carefully from the hot glue to make sure nothing came undone. So you can also test your Furby in this state. You will see that the tickle button won't work because it's unplugged, but you can see that everything else works. Just to make sure that all the other components work, you can actually test it when it doesn't have the speaker plugged in. So you can see I have plugged in the new speaker. The port doesn't really fit in there completely good. It's kind of sticking out a little bit, but as you can hear, it works completely. It's not going to burn out again unless the Furby is faulty, but it works completely. Now all I have to do is just remove the old speaker screws and put this speaker in place. Okay, you can see I have removed the two halves. I haven't removed this one completely because you can see the microphones in there, and I don't really need to remove it completely because I have access to both screws now. So I'm going to unscrew this. So here is the old speaker. You can see how really badly it's burnt out. You can see the staining. You can hear the cracklingness. It just doesn't look good. This you could probably save just because it is a tickle sensor. It would still work if you soldered these wires. Now I would like to say something important. There is a spring here where my nail is, and because I removed the speaker, this area kind of likes to flop forward, so just be careful that you don't flop it forward if you're following this repair, because if you flop it forward, you could lose the spring. Now all you have to do is just align the speaker in place, and then just screw in the screws. So now the screws are both screwed in, you can see that it fits perfectly. The port is a little wonky, but it still makes a good connection to the point where it talks normally. So now you just attach the two sides. You will want to put this back in. This is the pet sensor on the back. So you want to get it up under here. This little... and then just slide it like that. So I've now screwed in all of these screws for the shell, and I added the pet sensor back. And the next step you're going to want to do is just attach the fur, but I will be washing this fur just...
We love you.
The first thing I'm going to do to wash the fur is I'm going to run it under just running water, just to try to wet it to get out any, oils or stains, and then I'll actually use detergent. So I have it in a Tupperware full of just detergent. I'm going to let it sit. You can see it's already looking a lot better, a lot cleaner already. I'm going to let it sit for around 10 to 20 minutes. And I have like a little straw that I'm just stirring the Furby soup with. It's been around 30 minutes and I washed off the detergent and I emptied it. And this is what she looks like now. You can see she's a lot whiter, a lot cleaner looking. And usually you could stop right about here, just get out all the soap and stuff, but I'm going to try something a little new. So I added 2 tablespoons of baking soda and just a little bit more detergent, not too much. I'm really going to let the baking soda do the work here. It's going to be more of a whitening effect. I did stir it into the water completely so it's not grainy, and then I'm going to put the Furby fur inside of the water, and I'm going to leave it like this for around 20 minutes. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. I had cleaned off the baking soda mixture just by running it under cold water with my hands, just trying to get all the baking soda out. It's no longer grainy. It's really clean looking. You can see that it's a lot whiter. And now I'm just going to towel dry it a bit, and then I'm going to place it in front of a big fan. I'm not going to put it in the dryer because that would just ruin the fibers in it. You never want to add heat to it. So no blow drying, just cool air.
Yum. Okay, come on. No,